Hey everybody, it's Jay, and today I'm taking a look at a fairly recent import of a slightly older gun. So, not a brand new gun, is what I mean. There's still definitely current production, but this is not one that was made super recently. Centerfire recently imported these from France. These are French police surplus Ruger SP101s, so made in the US. Sent over to France for the police force, and then bought back here for a pretty reasonable price, I think, for what these are going for. So, to get into a little bit about this, the SP101 here from Centerfire is a 38 special version with a 5-round cylinder, a 3-inch barrel, and a very nice polished stainless appearance. Finish. The sights are very basic, milled into the top of the gun with a fixed front sight. Very low profile. Not the easiest to pick up that I've seen, but not terrible. Very happily, and once again I'm going to qualify this by saying this is my second, well, this actually is my third Centerfire revolver. The Czech Alpha Proj being the other, and then of course my Model 627. This is the third revolver that I've bought, so I am not a revolver guy. I don't know that much about them. So my experience is going to be from someone that doesn't have a ton of experience with these. 3-inch barrel, as I mentioned. The trigger is not terrible on it. It's definitely a very different feel than my 627 Performance Center. A much longer pull through. And I would say it has grit, but I don't think it's grit. I think it's just the trigger or the cylinder staging through. That kind of click, click, click that you're hearing. It's just a very different feel. It's not an unpleasant feel at all. I have not put the trigger on a trigger scale, but it is definitely heavier in single action and not as smooth as my 627 PC, but that's a Performance Center. This is a police surplus gun. That's kind of to be expected. It's not to crap on the revolver at all, just to point out some differences, some observances. It's imported by IMG, which I think is Centerfire's import arm. One other notable thing on these particular revolvers is they come with this Trausch grip. From what I understand, Trausch is the last name of a gentleman in France who has made quite a bit of grips. You most often see them on the herein revolvers, which are French revolvers. And this thing is exceptionally comfortable for me. It fits like a glove. This is the most comfortable revolver grip that I've ever actually handled. I really like the grip, the Speed Bees grip that came from Hogue on my 627, or flip that, I guess. The Hogue grip that came from Speed Bees for my 627 that they've customized a little bit. But this one fits absolutely fantastically. I really like this little bit of this generous back strap on the back. It puts my hand just about perfectly in line to pull the trigger on this gun. It's just really nice. Now, unfortunately, Mr. Trausch passed away, I believe, about 6 years ago at this point. I was reading, and whenever he passed, the grip making business passed with him. So no one is making these grips anymore, and even just finding ones for the SP101 seems to be fairly difficult right now, which is really a shame, because this is real comfortable. I'm really in love with this grip. And again, that's very subjective. Something that fits me will not fit you because my hand is not your hand. The trigger has a nice wide, smooth face, kind of rounded. And it's comfortable. It's just really comfortable to shoot. Now, I'm not the most accurate person in the world shooting a revolver, particularly in double action, but I was really pleased to see that I could very easily and consistently hit clay targets at 7 yards with this, with no issue. I wasn't stacking bullets on top of each other like I do with the 627 in single action, but I was definitely hitting at point of aim. And that's really good because these sights, like I said, are not adjustable at all. So you're pretty much stuck with whatever position they're sighted in for. And they were true. The sights were true to 0. Of course, as the typical Ruger push button versus the forward pushing on the Smith & Wesson to release the cylinder, and then your standard ejection rod. There's really not much else to say about it because it is a Ruger SP101. If you're familiar with those, then this is no surprise. But since this is a French police surplus, I thought it would be interesting to kind of highlight because prices on these are pretty low, or at least whenever I picked mine up, they were pretty low. And very reasonable if you want just a very basic 38 Special self-defense gun, or, just want a 38 Special SP101 range toy. Ruger SP101s and Ruger in general are known to produce tank-like revolvers. They're known to be really highly durable and have very strong actions. This gun has really nice lockup. There is almost no movement left to right, front to back. All feels really tight. It feels about as good as my 627, which is factory new. So I have no complaint there. In general, like I said, the trigger I don't think is really gritty. I think it's just the staging of the Ruger trigger. I don't have experience with any other double action Ruger triggers, so I can't really speak to that. I don't know why I'm grabbing the hammer because there's snap caps in here. But it feels good. It just feels like a really high quality gun that just happened to come from French police. Along with that, they included these pretty nice OWB holsters, side holsters, hip holsters. I had that kind of push button release on there. These are with GK Pro holsters. Really nice, heavy duty, heavy nylon on the outside. I'm assuming this is some kind of Kydex. Just a nice holster that it came with too. So with these centerfire imports, you get the trash grips, you get a nice holster, and generally just a really nice firearm. I think is a really good value for what they are going for at the time of this video being recorded. So if you're interested in them, keep an eye out for them. Hopefully by the time you see this, they'll still be out there and available. Yeah, it's a cool gun. It's a lot of fun to shoot. Even for having a relatively short barrel and everything, it's pretty neat. And I've packed it with me a few times for carry, so I think it's just a cool gun. So there you go, a little short video on the Ruger SP101 imported by IMG, aka Centerfire, out there, police surplus. There you go. This is Jay. Hope you liked the video. Please click like if you did. Be sure to subscribe to us if you haven't already, and check out our Patreon page if you're interested in helping support us. And I will see you very soon next time.